Okay, welcome back. Today we are doing cubes. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Woo! Okay, anyway, to do a cube, you got to make a square into something that's more of a boxy shape. To do that, you're going to be using a little technique called perspective. So if you were with me last year, you did something called one-point perspective. We may have done buildings popping out, or what do we do? What, your names? Okay, names in space? Yeah. Okay, so this, when you see this, this should not be new to you if you did names in space with me. Okay, so you're going to start off with a nice 2-inch square. What you're going to do at that point is pick a corner. I don't care which corner. And you are going to come out about 1.5 inches up to 2 inches away. So you're going to make a little diagonal line that's real light. It's going to end up getting a little bit heavier, but I would always draw light until you're ready to make things permanent. Make a little point or a little X at the end of that diagonal line. That X is going to end up going away. Who remembers from last year what an X is when we're drawing in perspective? The initials are VP. Vanishing point. Who said it? Maisel. Very good job, Maisel. Ayana said it too. Good job. All right, vanishing point. This is the point at which all of your angles will converge and come together. It's the point at which everything vanishes, okay? Where you can't see anything anymore. So you're going to have a diagonal that goes to a vanishing point, one central area. Now, from the open corners that are closest to the vanishing point, you're going to draw more angled lines using your ruler. These are called orthogonal lines. Just for some brain candy, okay? Orthogonal lines. What you're going to do, it's got to be free and clear open space. What you're trying to do is give the illusion that this is a solid box. So just use that ruler. It's really difficult to do this freehand. Angle, finally angle, I have free and clear open space. What you do not want to do is draw from a corner and draw through your shape, okay? So far, so good? Okay. So at that point, you've got to turn this kind of looking at the bottom of a pyramid sort of a shape into a cube. And what you have to do is make these kinds of lines. Parallel. Okay, parallel lines. What does that mean? Josie.
It's next to the other line and will never stop.
They are next to each other. Two lines that are next to each other that will never, ever, ever cross. They are completely 90 degrees to each other. 90 degrees? Yeah. Never will ever cross. They are train tracks. They're not if one's angled, they'll eventually knock into each other. You want it totally, up and down, equal distance the entire time. Okay? So, at that point, this is when people get weird. Don't get weird. This is the easiest way. And having a clear ruler really does help because you can kind of see what's happening. You're going to hold your ruler edge up against your original sideline. You're just going to move directly to the right in this case. Make sure your ruler edge is parallel with the side of your paper and the side of your box. You have to make sure that everything is completely straight up and down. If you're like this, which many people will do, if you're like this, it won't work out. You're going to ruin the illusion. It's going to be not a box. It's going to be something else that we don't want. So what you want to do is make sure you're totally straight up and down, and then just run your pencil in between that orthogonal space so you have two lines that are right next to each other. Anything when you're drawing in perspective, whatever happens in the front also happens in the back. So if this goes up and to the left, this is going to go up and what? To the left. So you're going to do the same thing again, same process, just different angle. So I'm holding my ruler right on top. of my original line. I'm moving it straight up. I'm making sure that my ruler is parallel with my front line. I'm also making sure that my ruler is parallel with the top of my page, making sure that you kind of even it out, balance it out. Turning a corner, one up, turn a corner. Okay, at that point, you've created a box. You need to erase any extra jive after that kind of cutoff point. These angles were just there to help us. So it's the same idea if you've drawn cubes before where you've gone a box in front, a box kind of overlapped, and you do this business. Okay, you still get a cube. This one happens to be see-through because you can see your back lines. But all these lines, eventually they would run into each other somewhere out in the far distance. Okay, so it's the same concept. This is the cleaner way of doing it. Now, when you're drawing the cube, you're just simply doing some really smooth shading. This is the easy part. You don't have to do any contour lines. You don't have to do any flicks. You don't have to do anything where you're like really rigid and structured about it. You're going to have a dark side, a medium side, and the light side. Make the front your light side because it's easier. It's less work. If I was trying to make this dark, that would be a whole lot of pushing and a whole lot of stuff going on. It's a lot. This is small. So small is easy. Do less work. So I have to stop this video for a second and look at Keaton because he's I just have this staring at me the entire time.
Sorry, I just can't really.
It's fabulous. I love that the Joker is staring at me from across the room. So, anyway, what you're going to do is do that. Dark side. Now, keep it. You can still see some pencil texture. So make sure when you're up against your orthogonal lines, you are going with the angle. And in order to just make it smooth value, go in two directions so they cancel each other out. So between the parallel lines, go up and down. Between the orthogonal lines, go angled with the closest angle to your pencil point. Okay? So dark side, medium side, light side. Like a 10, a 5, and like a 2. Yeah. Don't do this business though. When you're trying to make your light, I don't want to see any smudgy. I want to see really light lines going up, really light lines going across. It's going to look kind of like a checker pattern a little bit. It's going to be just get it as consistent as you can. Easy enough?
Easy.
Like and subscribe.
No.
Bye. Bye.
Hit that little bell.
Hit the thing.